What's going on? All right, now, my darlings, let's see what the vibe is. Welcome in. I'm Goddess High Priestess Empress Alba La Panthera. Ooh, now rings and diamonds coming out. Some of you could be worried about a commitment. We'll see what's going on. 129, 219, 921. 12. Something's on hold. Okay, let's see what's up. Let's see what's going on with the collective. If you're looking for your own personal message for this, a lot of the information is in the pinned comment. And don't forget, upon entering, whether you're watching this on live or replay, double tap the screen or hit that thumbs up button. Yes, yes. Where we at? Luna Libra? Let's double check. Yeah, should be. It's feeling that way, at least. Yeah, Luna Libra. Okay, let's dial in. Some of you could be anxious or nervous about something. 927. What's 927? That's Luna Libra energy. First deacon Libra. Two of Swords. Something stalemate, standstill. Because something is not what it seems. You're not seeing it fully or correctly. You could be seeing something fully but not correctly. Where you're seeing something correctly, however, not completely. All the information isn't there. All of the information isn't there. The first quarter phase is a challenge. Challenge of willpower, challenge of courage, confidence. Confidence being tested. Okay. Let's see. Whatever this is something that's actually older than you. Seeing something correctly, not fully, or seeing something fully and not correctly is something that's older than you. Because I can feel the separation between someone experiencing what this is in your own personal life, or not, or the difference between it being something that you've actually experienced within your own life and something that is connected to energies generationally. This is something that's older than you. Before you, never older. You're more frequency based than personality based. Part of the reason why others may project onto you, misunderstand you, idealize you. Some may even be intimidated or fear you, or see what they want to see, not the truth of who you are. You're not easy to understand, and it could get people a little flustered or frustrated, but the key is you're not here to be understood by anyone other than yourself. But they don't do anything. Perfect. Now, let's do it this way. Hold on. Somebody could be going to Cali, something like Colombia, or California, but more so Colombia is very significant. Okay. Got Aries coming out first. With Saturn, it's important not to be impulsive. Consequences come very quickly while Saturn is in Aries over these next 2 years. Saturn comes out. This could be something you're overcoming. You've been overcoming this particular phase that you're in for lifetimes already. This could have to do with partnerships, working as a team. You're used to doing things on your own. Going through experiences or tests that help you to see the reward that comes with working with the proper partnerships. There's also something in regards to someone receiving the contract. Make sure you're reading everything thoroughly. If if you have to get someone who's well versed in that expertise of what it is you're being offered, have them read it over for you. It's giving the vibes of a second opinion as well. Especially if you have a very deep sense and connection to your intuition. Not going with the first answer you hear. Venus at the bottom of the bread. Bottom of bread. Okay. Bottom of the money. Bottom line. Something with the bottom line. I just heard, who do you love? Are you sure? Four of Wands energy. Don't be so quick to misjudge. That's towards you. Someone could be seeing that about you, where they were too quick to misjudge you. You may have decided to celebrate, obviously, something you're proud of that you just accomplished, and someone wasn't invited, or another instance could be where they were invited but decided not to show up. I'm seeing a fork in the road as to why someone wasn't around, though, for that particular phase or moment in your life anyway. Seeing it correctly, maybe not fully, or seeing it fully and not correctly. Take your time, but don't misuse it. The Venus comes out anyway. Especially when it comes to realigning with the part of you that desires beauty, success, indulgence, and valuables. Leo. Your magnetism is quite high right now. It's very important for you to meditate more often so you can have a strong connection to your subconscious, especially the reprogramming that's happening. Somebody's hand is up. It's your turn to play. Somebody's hand is up. It's your turn to play with the cards you were dealt. Summer and Matt. Someone's initials could be S, M, Miss. With the hand you were dealt, it's up to you to find your way with that within the next 3 to 6 months, especially going into the summer. New territory, new environment, new energy. But I'm also getting, let's say you're moving, make sure you are cleansing your home from the energy that was there before you. Making sure your surroundings is connected to your essence and not who or what was there before you got there. '23 could be significant. You appear younger than your actual age as well. But there's something about your skin is clearing because you're leaving a past environment. You have left the past environment, so there's something about your skin that's clearing because of that. Yeah, breaking free. Well, it's at the bottom of the deck here. This could be something from your childhood, though, that you're breaking away from as well. If it's not a physical shift, although it happens first in the spiritual, then it, influences the external, the physical. Very likely. Another 3. At this time, the situation or outcome, it's more than possible for it to occur. What is that situation? You're unsure about this new charted territory that you are destined to take. Your hand is up. It's your time to play your hand. Not, okay. So the hand you were dealt, you don't play it the same way or the way. It's something about doing something unconventional. As an example would be a game of spades. You and your partner don't have the best hand, but the strategy y'all have is very unconventional and it wins the game. This could also have to do with taking a risk. Bottom line, bottom dollar. Bet your bottom dollar. Anything you do, it's not to prove to anyone that you can. Make sure you're doing things from the joy and bliss of your heart, not what other people expect you to do. There goes that. Mm-hmm. What's that? Dear John, rejection, cold hard truth, breaking up, set boundaries, strange situation. It's not you, it's me. The end. Final word. Cutting cords, cutting words. Some of you could be disconnecting from someone who constantly cuts you off when you're speaking. That could be a significance too. Something's not working, obviously. Library. And it came out sideways in regards to information. Seeing something correctly or not fully, or seeing something fully but not correctly. 28, 233, 28. Speaking of seeing clearly, very much so. The crystal ball. All right, so let's get you to see this clearly then. Happening soon. So something is on the verge of happening. It's on the verge of happening. Give me 3 cards. What's on the verge of happening here? This could be making you anxious and nervous. Stay centered. Stay in the now. The anxiety is because you're too focused on an outcome that is also connected to hope and fear. That could be a way of impulsively processing a current situation. Being centered is important where you are reflecting on the way you handle energies before you go into the next level. Becoming much more acquainted with yourself, much more aligned, rather. What's happening next? 3 cards, please. Transformation. There's a lot going on between the heart chakra and the sacral. It feels as though it's a lot of noise. If you could express the way you feel is loud, is what I'm getting. 2 more. 4 of Cups. Almost at the double card. Yeah, juggling. Okay, so the Death card followed by the 4 of Cups and the Knight of Swords in reverse. You won't be able to rush this anyway. The transformation is already set. Energetically, it's already set. That's that feeling of, is a lot going on internally. It's loud. Nothing is being said, but it's loud. The energy is loud. It's high. It's got chills in my legs. Right leg specifically. Don't overthink the way you're going to take your first step moving forward. Part of the reason why you're overthinking has to do with something here of the past, and you're not even seeing what is new, refreshing cup awakening of unconditional love and a clearer sense of um, the way you feel emotionally, where it's not so confusing, it's not all over the place. It's having to do with you focusing on something of the past, and you're sitting still when it's time to make a move. That move is something real simple. It's just a pivot. It's just a pivot. So what's happening next can't be rushed anyway. However, the main thing is that there is a transformation happening. Now, the Three of Cups is also a card of reunions, celebrations, and things of that nature. And you could be sitting here in this deep nostalgic type of state with something that didn't move forward as quickly as you possibly perceived it to move, but it had its own energetic flow to it. So it wasn't something that could be rushed anyway. Not seeing something clearly. That's part of it right there. Then. Okay. Mercury in Cancer too. Mercury connected to Gemini and Virgo. It gives this direct expression of explaining something. However, you're explaining water at this point in Cancer. Mercury in Cancer. Three of Cups. It has everything to do with the Four of Cups thereafter. Moon in Cancer. The emotions you have connected to past memories that's affecting your now moment. Past memories, now moment. Yeah. Self-sabotage. Get up on out of there. How do you do that? What to do that? To handle that? What you do handles it. What you don't do keeps you dealing with it. Keeps the game going. You move forward. Wow. This is a card of Cancer too. The Chariot. You're going to have to let go of the reins of certain things that are not in your control as far as the way it should move. This could be people, family, Cancer energies. It could be family. Specifically a mother here for some of you. Or maternal figure. Or something regarding a male figure that's going through certain things with the mother figure. The Chariot as an advice would be moving forward with precision. What will block that? The mental strategies at the bottom of the spread. Subconsciously, you already have the strategy. The Star. For some of you, your healing is what's uncomfortable. It's understandable. 952, 525. Why it's uncomfortable? It's not you that's uncomfortable. This is going back to where we started. What you're feeling right now is older than you. It's an ancestral memory. It's not you. It's part of you, but it's not entirely you. This is why it's important to meditate, reflect, journal, have the conversations with yourself that you're looking to have with others. And it's only so very few that can listen to you and truly guide or advise or just be a proper support without them connecting to their own personal experience. That's what a great listener does. You may have been a great listener for many, but when the tables turn for you to be listened to, it's not, you know, it's not all the way there. Part of the reason for that is because you're going through a process where you have to be more than okay and comfortable with that hermit mode type of experience where you have to be the one that speaks to yourself, that takes yourself through these situations. That doesn't mean that the entire way of the rest of your life, that's what you're doing. No. But to reach to a higher caliber of an energy that matches your vibration where you're going, that phase is important at times too. Where you're able to handle situations by really guiding yourself through your feelings before you process it into a way of being or thought. Because that's what becomes things, is the thought. But sometimes one can overload that processor with information that it's not designed to break down or process. That's your body's work, especially when it comes to feelings. So you got the star card coming up after the chariot. This is giving the vibes of being mindful of what you ask for, because you will get it. You are receiving it. It's transforming. It's happening. You've been asking. It's on its way. And it's not that it's coming in slowly or quickly. It's just, it's beyond time. So this is okay. So this is going to be you coming out of a situation where it almost feels as though it's a miracle as to why and how you came out and through it. 9:55 right now. Yeah. Hmm. You could certainly be an Aries rising because it's giving the vibes of Sagittarius ninth house, and Aries did come out first. So with Saturn and Aries over the next 2 years, if you are Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or wherever you have Aries in your chart, is speaking to not being impulsive in that area of your life and being much more emotionally disciplined and mature in your actions, especially when it also connects to the part of you that desires beauty, success, indulgence, and valuables. Something or someone is not supposed to be moving forward with you. And that could be the strongest part in regards to the more challenging part when it comes to releasing something that you're emotionally connected to. We have the Eight of Wands here, Mercury and Sagittarius. The moment you see the meaning of something, the moment you see, is it see and feel or see or feel? The moment you see and feel the meaning of something is when this movement begins. Because it's beyond explanation. It's connected to a bigger picture. It's a very, it's expansive in its nature as to the way something is coming towards you. It can basically, it can go either way, but a win-win outcome for all involved though. Especially with the death card coming out here first. That's one thing that's inevitable, is change. Something is always changing. So to remain the same and feel as though nothing's changing, then that's what puts a load on you energetically. That's what births anxiety, doubt, confusion. That's the way that's born. King of Swords, Aquarius. Yeah. You know exactly how you're going to be coming out of this burden. This could have even happened through a dream, but you're strong enough to handle this. You strong enough to have experienced what you have experienced to break through it. At the center of it, look at that. You didn't see that though. the moon card. In certain phases, things are evident to you. Full moon type of energy. So from the full moon to the new moon, you're from the new moon going into the full moon, you can be gaining a clearer perspective. However, it starts off as if much is not clear to you. And from the full moon going into the new moon is when the energy begins to dissipate, where it starts to wane. Someone's saying could be wane too. Right now we're in the first quarter phase, which is about challenges, confidence, but it also connects to the solar plexus. So there's something about emotions connected to memories and one-on-one relationships. The fact that the moon is in Libra, that affects the way you operate when it comes to your courage and your confidence. And when you're mishandling that part of you, this is when the energies of being impulsive come in. Moving with fear instead of with confidence. So 6 days ago could have been significant while the moon was in Leo, 2200 on the clock. Page of Wands. You were inspired to do something, however, I just heard however, let's see. Page of Wands and what? 4 of Pentacles. You still held back though. You received great news but still held back. You experienced something that was fulfilling. It fired you up, but the wounded version of you keeps you holding yourself back. That's where the energy of a risk comes into play that we was picking up on at the beginning of this. Because the 4 of Pentacles could indicate that you're on the proper path of your foundation, your legacy, and building it wisely. But this could also signify where you're holding yourself back and not fully moving forward with this newfound inspiration or this idea that comes in. All it takes for you is to take action, inspired action. You got the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. See, ancestral memory. Queen of Cups, Cancer energy. You're not lost. You just have to grab your reset, your timeline, or repeat your life guide. Link in the bio. Okay, to help you to break through and out of certain patterns that are not allowing you to make the proper decisions that allow you to live the best version of yourself and your life. But there's certainly a pattern here that is more so a gene code that you have to disengage from. Another 4. For some of you, this could have to do with getting rest. You've been holding yourself back from getting rest, and that's intervening with the integration process after you go through so many changes. Your 7 of Swords, Moon in Aquarius. Don't allow people around you to distract you. Stay focused on what you have to do. You could be going through a process right now where you are actually also taking time for yourself, and you're now seeing the truth of people when you are making sure you're well before you pour into someone else's cup. 1441 on the screen. You just went to 15. See what else? The 6 of Swords. Yeah, 446. Let me look at that number. That ad up there says the logic that God exists. The logic is that you are present. You're an extension of that. Let's go to the Book of Numbers, where it's pulling up Book of Numbers. I'm not doing this right now. Let's do it this way. Yeah. And Venus in Cancer right now too. That's helping to build a foundation. And then it's at 4 degrees. Number 4 naturally carries structure, home, stability, corners, walls, and protection. Which is strongly going to activate the heart and sacral chakras through the root, especially right now. Okay, so when it comes to money decisions you have to make with money as well, make sure, you know, you ground yourself before you just sit there and just make overly emotional moves. Settle your mood first and then, you know, do what you do. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Join us on the edges. A leader whose authority comes from divine fathering, born from strength, assigned to a tribe, connected to movement, commerce, territory, and sacred dwelling. It's not a passive leadership. This is a leadership placed in order. Why am I getting the vibe of an ambassador? Especially for those of you that you may be surrounded by some sort of family secret about who you actually are or what you have access to. I'm seeing this vibe of where you got ancestors literally that have been in their position until you were ready to receive this new gift, home, mainly mindset. You have to be trusted with this. So a lot of the tests you've gone through, you had to be tested with it. It made your ass sweat for this, actually. hmm But some of those tests had to do with, okay, you having to recognize that not everyone who carries a sacred name carries sacred order, that not everyone who speaks against leadership is speaking from truth. There goes seeing something fully but not correctly. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. I said, what? Wait. Ooh. Not everyone who feels chosen has been assigned to lead that particular movement. Not everyone who is next is being delayed. Some are being positioned. A fourfold seal where the authority is being confirmed, huh, across multiple dimensions, that of identity, placement, choice, and movement. A fourfold seal. I see why these two are back to back. Some of you could be mourning your past life, this life and the ones before. You're finally ready to move on. You're no longer holding yourself back from fulfilling your legacy. Stay in formation, bring your offering, and do not let wounded authority pull you out of divine placement. That's the key. Because you're not, your path does not include you rising from resentment and challenges that were never yours to carry to begin with. No, right? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me grab a pen. Ooh, 10. Literally 10. I want to. It's just got a bit deep there because you have an assignment, obviously, that's not only personal, it becomes a new memory. You hear that, especially if you're someone who's tuned into spirituality, different information about consciousness and things of that nature, whatever title label you put on it. But the depths, but also the simplicity of that, where your assignment's not only personal, it's reactivating the entire ancestral memory code. It's just one, it's not, this could be shifted from 2 strands to 12. Yeah. Realigning what they used to call junk DNA. Be honest with you and transparent. Sirens too. That actually happens when you are aware of your cosmic blueprint or your astrology. Shows you how to move through the elements and how they connect with you. Not the end all be all as far as information and the ways to go about that, or, getting to see and understand yourself from that perspective. But it certainly works as a beautiful blueprint on how to move forward out of this betrayal that happens often in the mental state because the body is overloaded. The ancestral memory has become overloaded. This is why your visions could be more lucid, especially with your dreams. Being drawn to this too, going deeper into the Akasha, the library of your soul. That's what Akasha is, the library of your soul. Especially if you find yourself having dreams of going upstairs or library specifically. Your subconscious has a way of showing you the way you'll be able to understand it through yourself. Angels, That's from that number 446 right there. You're stepping into awareness of your ability to help people move, provide, build, and remain in order while transition is happening. By doing that with your first, it could be your first child that you're doing this with, or you could be the first child. The way I'm expressing this right now, the verbiage is coming out in this exact way, where I'm talking to the collective, who's talking to the collective, and who the collective is going to be talking to. So, as it comes through, I'll explain it. The question is, are you moving in a way that you accept your placement or resent it? The resentment could be when people are arguing about who got here first, who did what first. All that shit is part of the game to distract you too. I'm not saying not to honor where you come from. I'm just saying it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. So allow yourself to explore. As a soul having a human experience, that's exactly what you came here for. Bars. Don't keep yourself behind them though. Mihail the Sun. Restoration of life, protection from adversaries, rabies, and wild beasts. It's hilarious. And great to know. And Six of Swords for the second time. So subconsciously, with this message right now, you can come back and listen to it. It's so simply stated. That's how simple your transition is going to be. How smooth it's going to be. Don't over process what's not happening yet, or put yourself in a state of fear or freezing or self-sabotage because you're in a similar situation and you're used to a previous response from that particular moment that you're in right now. Thoughts become things. So make sure you're creating a different trajectory by first feeling through it differently before you process it as a thought or as information that becomes what you experience or reality. Daniel. Daniel came out sideways. Why are you coming out here sideways, bro? Eloquence gives answers to those in doubt. Okay, so that without we just expressed the challenge. Okay, you right. Okay, that's why. Okay, 50. That's a change. 955 is significant. What I said in the beginning, around when I said 955, 5 minutes before and after that, is a very significant message. King of Swords showing up again. That's the third time the King of Swords shows up. So at 9:55, 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after, is connected to the strategy. Haziel, Hierophant, when it comes to you stepping outside of a certain tradition. You're not supposed to do the things the way those that came before you have done it. Divine forgiveness obtains partnerships and favors of the great, secures promises. Yeah, your journey, your path is secure. You just have to align with that version. Eight of Pentacles. Intellectual talent provides knowledge. Wow. You're certainly someone who's supposed to be teaching at a much higher stature. This is given either high school or professor level type of teaching here. Because the Hierophant speaks of, institutions of higher knowledge. This could be someone who has their own ministry in what it is that you do. The Empress. Wow. The Empress, the Sun, the Hierophant, and the Ace of Cups. Oh, so your divine purpose and your love life are beautifully intertwined. The Star. You're supposed to be well known for your healing abilities. You're probably just gonna have to get away from the fear of the way you're being seen, especially if you have a background or you grew up in a way where you were always misjudged. Those situations. Pelo en la lengua. But wait, what was that? Let me see something. You could come from a background where, you know, you weren't seen fully. You were told to be quiet often. Pelo en la lengua. Okay, yeah. When we say that in Spanish, it does have to do with someone who doesn't have hair on their tongue, someone who just speaks their mind without hesitation or fear of offending others. You could have been in many situations that prevented you from actually saying what you had to say, what you were, and you had the most beautiful intentions of saying what you say. But you could have fire energy or a lot of Sagittarius energy in your chart, where you say things exactly as it is. You know, you say things that people don't expect you to say. And there may have been situations in the past where you weren't able to speak. So now it comes out a little bit more harsh or aggressive sometimes, depending on who you're talking to or speaking to. Just look at it this way: those people are being placed in your life for you to recognize the difference, when it comes to the way you're going to say something. Because I'm not getting the vibe of not to say anything. It's just more so that could also be it too. Well, let's say you don't say something and people still respond to you as if you said it. That'll really open your eyes a lot to people too. It's one thing to feel energy, absolutely, and have a response towards someone because even if they didn't say anything, you can still sense it. However, it goes a little bit further, especially in matters where a person may not even have the ability to read the energy correctly, let alone fully, to then even, state something to you that is not even who you are. They just, as the saying goes, talking out their ass. 22, 22, just talking shit. Okay. That is so wild how that even came through that way. You're supposed to be seen for the way you express your truth or to speak. Some of you could have Chiron and Gemini, where your deep soul wound has to do with communication. And the area or the house that it's in, it's the area of your life that you tend to really experience the wound itself of that. This could also have to do, especially with Chiron and Gemini, where certain environments that you grew up in play a major role on the deeply rooted wounds that you have as a soul, even with siblings or cousins for that matter as well. Yeah. Anything else, book collector? The way you care and don't care reflects the way you grew up. What if you were the one raising you? How would that appear differently? What would you do differently? That's the key here. Enthusiasm, energy, intense joy, community, sharing ideas, get things going, orgasm, fierce, heated, passion. This could also have something to do with the way that you were taught about sex too. That creates a wound or some sort of disconnect with the sacral and the root chakra, especially if it's taught from a space of fear. Person of earth, grounding. Some of y'all used to get grounded a whole lot when you were children, huh? But the person of earth could be the provider and caregiver. Yeah, so that's confirming that for sure. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn could be significant. Because it also reflects the way you manage situations, especially in matters of business. Because a relationship, love is not something you manage, it's something you participate in. Crack shot. Sharp tongue. Yeah, see, something about expression here is very significant. That's what's changing. And with that change, there could be a showdown. Well, but you're not lying about what you're saying though. Capricorn energy. Capricorn is on the axis of Cancer, so Capricorn is I use, Cancer as I feel. So you're utilizing your feelings wisely, or that is the key. Yeah, that is the key, the tool. Okay. You have what it takes to handle the task at hand. You've been well prepared. Get out of this uncertain business that you're in. It could be an uncertain business that you're in, or this uncertainty business that you're sitting here indulging in internally. Okay. Speaking of using your emotions wisely, she's looking straight at the water too. Moving on. Some of you are moving physically when it comes to the things that you are achieving in life. But there's something about your environment that it's time for you to change that also. Very much so. Especially with uncertain. This energy of uncertainty is coming up because of the environment that you're in or people that you're around. Ancestral memory. Resources again. Yeah, see, there's something about you having access to something, but you're not fully seeing it because of what you're around. You gotta change your environment, change your furniture around, do something. Change your routine. Yeah, many options. Absolutely. Convertible. What's this? It's gonna have to do with relationships too. For some of you, you got a certain type that you're used to going to that you wonder why the energy's still the same. It's just, the visual, okay, the geometry of their faces, the shapes of their body is very similar. And your perception about it could be changing, but it's not changing fully. Especially in matters of communication, where there's certain things you would have to say or communicate that you may not be communicating and wondering why things are stagnant. Or haven't communicated it. However, it does even anyway. Haven't had that communication. But again, the only thing that you can shift or change is yourself. You can talk to you blue in the face to people, but if they decide to remain the same, that's exactly what they're gonna do. You just have to make sure you're aligning with said place, people, experiences that match you, that vibes with you fully. Not, yeah, roundabout with the same community. This not even funny. Literally, community connections, new direction, keep it moving. Person of fire, person of earth could be significant. They're both out here. Taurus, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and then we have Taurus coming out. Birdcage, yeah. See, codependency could be a significance. Codependency doesn't necessarily just mean um, someone being taken care of. Codependency could also be the person that's constantly taking care of other people. It can go both ways. Yeah, you desire that freedom. However, only thing you can't control is you. Because let's say you decide to move, right? From where you're at right now. That makes a greater ripple effect when it comes to an ancestral memory or energy that has to do with people sabotaging someone's path through jealousy, through doubt or confusion. There's a lot more that can change with your move than you talking somebody out or through something that they have to make that decision that they're going to move out of something. Okay, we got within a few days here. We already had happen and soon show up. So within the next cycle, 7 days, you got this shit. Everybody out here now. This is collective, all right. The only one that didn't show up in here is a person of war. We got person of air that just popped up. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But then the deeper meaning, fourth, eighth house, 12th house, those are the houses that show you where things have to end. Houses of endings. The great mentalist. Then you got chess, strategy, planning, checkmate. Show me.